Hello everyone, it's Fluffy, and I'm back with another video. So somebody said they don't really play or get how to stall, and so my next video will be the mega stall game I had in one of my live league. I was planning to show it in a series of a bunch of stalling games, but honestly, everything I do is pretty much stall, so I suppose there's no difference showing it now than later. For this game, we played it on Love and Literature, Tier 4 Standard. He went with Adder, I went with Jess because I like stalling, and because my HQ is further left than his, I'm going to make his units face the left while I face the right. In this way, we will be facing opposite directions. So let's begin. He builds 2 infantry on the first turn, which is normal. I go for this property capture, and I'll explain why in my next turn. He decides to go for his neutral base, which makes sense. And he goes for this turn 1 property capture, which is also a capture chain here. And now, for the reason why I went for this neutral base is so I can cancel it and then go for my neutral base. It still reaches at the same number of turns, but it's for style points. I also go for this back capture. It's also a capture chain, which is nice. And he decides to go for this turn 1 capture chain, which chains into his airport. Makes sense. For me, I decide to also do the same. And because I am player 2, I am half a turn ahead on my rightmost base. So instead of going for this capture to the right side, I decide to head left, where I can go for this chain over here. So I'm really just trying to space out my infantry on the right side and send it to the left, so that my left side would not feel too lacking infantry, since I'm supposed to be half a turn behind here. So just compensating my weak side just a little bit. He decides to send his infantry from his one base side onto the center. And I don't do that because I have this infantry from my strong side shifting over. I want to balance out my forces a little because I want to stall. And stalling means defending my weak side. Okay. Everything looks normal. He built his first tank. I could have built my first tank last turn, but I wanted the infantry. And I went with artillery first. Double artillery, actually. I guess I just wanted more vehicles, and I can still afford a tank double infantry next turn. So I guess that's why. But I can't quite remember why exactly I built an artillery. It does cover this comm tower, and I guess I could use it to try to block this. I think I just wanted a vehicle numerical supremacy. But I definitely built a tank this turn. I also choose not to capture this property and instead send this infantry forward for 2 reasons. One, it does help support this capture, and it can also be used to capture this property otherwise. And this infantry at the airport could go capture this property instead. There's no way I'm sending this guy all the way up here. This feels like a definite overextension on my weak base side. So this is my decision to move my infantry forward instead of going for this capture. I also built my tank in the center. He has 2 tanks on the right side. He gets this hit. I am Jess, so I will eventually lose the infantry fights. And I decide to play along for now because I have an artillery. so it's not solely an infantry fight. My artillery would cover this comm tower capture. The forest makes it so that the tank cannot have the movement to hit my artillery. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just built a tank here, so my artillery is within 1 turn space reinforcements anyway. I also send my infantry towards the center, my strong side shifting over to my weak side a little bit. We continue having the infantry brawl. He doesn't break through this, which is very unfortunate for him. And my artillery gets to fire. I also get this city, which is very nice. My strong side shifting over to my weak side. I captured this because if he wants to interrupt this, he has to spend a tank's turn attacking an infantry, which my tank also covers. It's a little overloaded right now, my tank. I want my tank to support my weak side, but I also want this tank covering this city. We will have to see. But I also start building tanks here. Built an anti-air because he has a copter. He builds a recon, which I assume is for harassment. Very aggressive compared to me. Artilleries are typically more defensive in nature. I can use it offensively, but it's mostly for defense because they are less mobile. Copter goes in to get a shot. My anti-air does not have the range to cover it just yet. Also sends 2 tanks to clear one of my infantry here. So I decide I'll go for this capture. The only thing that can interrupt it is a recon hit, and I also decide to surround the copter so my anti-air can get it next turn. Additionally, I think my tank goes in for a strike here. No, it doesn't. I thought I would, but I guess I didn't. It was probably not a good idea, but I thought I might hit it just so that there's less things to reinforce this copter. Copter strikes at my tank, recon interrupts it. Tank moves over, strikes my infantry, and he starts capturing this property, which is on my side. And there's not much I can really do about it because I am just, my infantry will lose the infantry war. So I just have to stall a little longer for my tanks. He moves his tank into my base reinforcements. I guess he really wants this capture. But I actually would have interrupted him if it weren't for this tank. But I still think it's in his advantage. I kill his copter, artillery moves back, and I just do a retreat over here because infantries and recons are enough to completely secure this capture. I continue having a little bit of a brawl here. Because I can get a 2-hit KO, I am Jess, so this is a guaranteed kill. Plus I have my artillery to cover it. These 2 tanks behind this mountain and rivers cannot reinforce it in time, so this is why I begin my counterattack in the center. Also front shift a little bit towards the center, because why not? And I am a little wary of his normal power, because he is adder. But I think this tank could have been moved a little more forward. Probably here at least, because it is within tank reinforcement range, so it would be terrible if he went in. He goes for this capture, very aggressive. Gets a free shot over here because I don't really have much defending this infantry. Mech gets a shot. This mech base is actually quite strong now that I think about it. But no matter how strong it is, when in doubt, just stall harder. I'm not stalling too much yet, because I definitely do want to contest some properties, but I plan to fight where I am advantaged. So I am advantaged in the center where he only has 2 tanks in the area compared to my 5 tanks, 6 tanks. Well, I guess it's 5 tanks now, but still 2 tanks to 5 tanks. I can fight where I am advantaged and I just pull back everywhere else. I do get a mech kill with this, so this is totally justified in my opinion. I'm losing unit count, but it's a Jess infantry against an adder mech. Adder mechs are worth so much more than Jess infantry, so this is a good trade in my opinion. I also decide to interrupt this capture. Tank goes in to save his property. And there's the side slip. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it. The only thing the side slip does is this property capture, and the tank rushes in with the stat bonus. The medium tank also gets a little closer, but it's still next turn when he doesn't... Oh, he will just get another side slip, I suppose. But either way, his tank will only reach this mark is lying. Medium tanks should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is normal. And then with his side slip, it should be over here at most. So this city, I can still 2-hit KO this, and then move in to cover it with artillery. So I don't agree with this side slip, but it happened. Maybe there's something I don't know, but I just don't agree with it. I decide to get this hit because I want to shift a little bit over towards the center. I feel like the center is where the fight will be at, and I want more units there. My infantry that has been capturing these back properties, finally moving in for the fight. Like I said, I get this 2-hit KO. Medium tank cannot reach the city. Artillery covers it. Artillery covers the artillery. And I built a medium tank of my own. Now, my medium tank is in a very similar situation with his medium tank, in the sense that we both get movement from our powers. But I get more firepower, so mine is better. This is a safer strike though. I do not agree with this, because that feels like throwing a tank away. Tank goes after my artillery, and there's a side slip. He goes for this strike, which I did not see. But by going on the right side, it does mean the medium tank over here will not be helping in the center, which is good for me. Well, it's not good that I'm losing this comm tower, but I'm someone who sacrifices properties for unit count and unit value. So we'll see how it goes. He's sacrificing his unit count in exchange for properties, and I'm sacrificing my properties in exchange for unit count and unit value. So let's see how it goes. Well, plenty of things are in range. Might as well use my super, which makes sense. Get rid of this copter. Artillery fire. Tank fire. I have a lot of firepower as Jess. I get rid of this mech. Copter goes after this tank. Medium tank comes in, one-shots because I'm Jess. I also get more tank kills over here. Swap out the infantry because this 1 HP infantry isn't going to capture it, let's be honest. And while his medium tank could go after my medium tank, he has no charge for the next power, and I'm currently having a Jess super, so it would actually be losing for him if his medium tank strikes my medium tank. It definitely makes more sense to go back and strike my anti-air instead. So now, I built a mech, built another mech, and I built a tank. You know I'm not really trying too hard to defend this base if I'm building mechs from it. But it's also not nothing. I just want to chase this recon away. I delay my loss of the comm tower just one more turn in case he wants to continue brawling. His tank does take one more HP off my artillery, but I'm fine with that. The whole artillery tank trait we have over here is I lose one tank, he lose one tank, I lose half my artillery, but I get to kill a mech over here. So at the end of the day, value-wise, we are about the same. And the left side looks a little bit weaker. He's pretty strong on the right side, so I might as well front shift to the left. And well, there's no tanks covering this. If he tries to trap my tank, I can always free it. Plus I have artillery backup for it, so it's fine. And now I have a huge unit cannon advantage. Also send my anti-air here to be very annoying. Not even his recon can get rid of it. I built a recon of my own, and I built another anti-air because I lost one anti-air. Well, it's damaged. But yeah. Lose an anti-air, build another one. Anti-air is amazing. You might be wondering when the title is going to pop up in this game. We'll get there soon. It's only day 15. We got a whole other half of the game available. He goes after these attacks, which, fair enough. It hurts my foot soldiers in this area, so I have a harder time taking this comm tower. So yeah, that does hurt, but I'm sure he will lose more. Again, he's sacrificing his unit count and unit value in exchange for properties. I like the opposite philosophy, sacrifice my properties to get unit count and unit value. I have so much more units, as you can clearly see up here. After this property, attack. He's a little stronger in the center now, which means it's time to front shift again. I trap this recon and kill the infantry, which is very unfortunate for this recon. It has high movement, but it can't go anywhere. He's strong in the center, like I said, but now he's a little weaker on the sides again. I don't think I can get this property considering artillery, medium tank, and copter is there. I think I just abandoned this. Yes, I abandoned this property because I don't think I can... Well, I think I can eventually win this, but I'm playing the stall strategy. I get stronger the more tanks I have, and if we keep brawling, then he's just going to win by having more powers, more frequent powers. But if I don't brawl, my unit count goes up even higher, and I will eventually strike back. Built a second medium tank to match his two medium tanks. His tank goes into attack, and I forgot to move my anti-air. I could have at least fired on this to chip some money off. He uses another side slip. I don't think it's worth it for just one hit. I guess it also helps move for this capture. I don't think it's worth it for this. I guess he really wants to defend the comm tower, but it's so close to my 2-bay side that it's just not worth it in my opinion. I see this infantry is not covered by anything now, so might as well get the free hit. Medium tank goes in. You just use your power, and I'm sitting on a silo. I think I am perfectly fine. Copter goes in. He has to send his copter to attack my copter, otherwise my copter is just free. But my copter is also protected by anti-air. Well, I mean, I guess he could always retreat and stall like me. But based on his aggression so far, I don't think he will stall. I go after the anti-air. Unfortunately, no comm tower means my firepower is pretty sad. But that doesn't change the fact that I can still get this property. Artillery here because why not? Artillery doubling up. And another tank to move in. Now I start really going for this comm tower. If he wants to fight me, he will fight so close to my base reinforcements it won't even be a close fight. Medium tank goes for this shot. Now he does have 2 comm towers, so his firepower is actually greater than my firepower. But I'm on a silo, so I'm still pretty strong. Copter goes for copter hit. I accidentally clicked that. He continues capturing this, moves the artillery up. And covers this copter. Well, I'm still trying to pressure this comm tower, so I go in. Kill the copter. Fire upon his medium tank with the heavier terrain. Well, with the heavy terrain. It also makes it easier for me to protect this artillery covering this. My foot soldiers are moving closer. I have a vehicle base and an infantry base. So it means that I can match any vehicles he sent at me, but I will always get extra infantry in this area. I interrupt this capture for another turn. His artillery already has a target. Well, I guess it could fire at this infantry, then medium tank goes in for my anti-air. But artillery is shooting anyway, so I think that's fine if I send units in. Building up more anti-airs. I guess in this case, copter can fly down or fly left. So I built an anti-air for both situations. But anti-air is still strong. Even without a comm tower, because I am Jess, I get extra firepower, which means my anti-air is still guaranteed to kill infantry on planes. With the comm tower I can do it on woods, but anti-air is still good, even on Jess. He kills one of my artillery and injures my medium tank with his tank. Now this situation is clearly hopeless at this point, but the other comm tower isn't. So, pew. So I get rid of his medium tank because I didn't like it, and everything else just retreat. There's no point in staying here. And I start moving my units closer to these properties. Both my mech and my infantry is in position to capture it, should anything happen. And I also have double medium tank with a fully powered super. Did I have the super at the beginning of the turn? Yes, I did, but I choose not to use it because stalling means you hold your power until you win the game with the power. So can I win the game in this position? If I use my super right now, I cannot. So the strategy of stall is, if you can't win with your power right now, you wait until you can. So I don't use my superpower for this entire turn because I don't need it. And I built more vehicles, because more vehicles means my superpower gets even stronger. I lose my artillery, which is fine. My copter's still putting in some work. Anti-air loss, which is fine. Medium tank loss, which is fine. Since there's only one infantry, I'm not at risk of losing these properties anytime soon. He uses his side slip to get this attack, which I don't think it's worth it. It's against the fundamental idea of stall, which is to use your power when you can win. In this case, I don't think this tank strike is winning. But I get rid of the anti-air, so my copter can get a hit. This is a comm tower, so the anti-air will not recover. And drop this tank, because why not? Fire on this tank, because why not? Oh, I couldn't quite get it. Either way, he has no effective anti-air on the left side, which means I can continue fighting here all I want without any consequences. Artillery covers my medium tank. Mech starts capturing this. Infantry moves up in position to capture this further property. My mech is pretty much fine, so I don't have to worry about join capping. And there's nothing he can really do to wall break to get a 2-hit on my medium tank. He already used his power, which means he doesn't have it for the next turn. So it's safe for me to push forward. And once again, I hold my power for the whole turn. Do I win using my power that turn? No, so I don't use it. Medium tank goes in to strike. I disagree with that, because I have an artillery here. He strikes my tank, which was used to knock out the anti-air. Ooh, do not use your infantry, you need that to capture stuff. Mech goes in for the shot. I'm perfectly fine with that, because he's getting nothing over here. So, I get the comm tower. Pew! My firepower is back! Pew! Start capping. Do you really want to continue trying to interrupt me now that I have another artillery? Well, it's the same artillery, but it still covers the tile. But now you're down 1 medium tank, and I have 2 medium tanks. Copter goes in, copter goes in. No reason to fight up here anymore, so just start front shifting to the right side. And I just have to make sure I don't lose my HQ and everything's fine. Once again, I am holding my power. I don't need to use my power. And using my power does not win me the game right now, so I don't use it. That's how it works. So, there's 3 copters on his side right now. I have 3 anti-airs to match his numbers. The mechs continue fighting over here. And he uses another side slip for this capture again. I don't agree with using side slips like this because it does not win the game. But then again, that's just my stall philosophy. Maybe he wants to start a brawl over here by inviting me to attack to interrupt his capture. But I don't attack because I don't have to. I am stalling. Stalling means no attacking. So now, the next question. Do I win if I use my super this turn? I have anti-air to wall break infantry, medium tank to wall break tank, and my tank can strike the rocket. But does that win the game? The answer is no, it does not win the game, so I don't use my superpower. I just continue stalling. I got the city over here, I got what I wanted. This city is impossible with the rocket aiming it down, which means I should front shift towards the center and go after this city, which is more likely to go into my hands. I have now evened up the income and even went ahead, even temporarily. So, this strategy of simply not using your superpower because it does not win the game is working. I built a rocket of my own because I do want to get this capture. Infantry moves over to the left. I assume he's planning to capture these properties, which would make sense. He captures the center property, which I had no intention of brawling for, because I'm not trying to brawl. Now, look at this position. Does using the superpower win the game? Medium tank could strike medium tank, but that's about it. So the answer is no. Using the superpower does not win the game, and if it does not win the game, you do not use it. So no, I don't use the superpower for another turn. I am now ahead on income. I attack his infantry because it will delay this capture, which means more money for me, just a little longer. And I just prepare with more vehicles. The more vehicles I have, the better. Another anti-air built because anti-air is amazing. Another anti-air built because anti-air is amazing. Clears my infantry, begins capturing the city, which is expected. Copter goes for this attack, which is... I guess that's an option. Copter goes for this attack. Injures my medium tank, which I suppose is not nothing. And now, he builds a mega tank. A mega tank. Now mega tanks are very slow, but for both Jess and Adder, the powers giving it movement make them very strong. But we'll have to see if it works out. Now, it's my turn again. Does using my super win the game? Well, what can that super do? Medium tank attacking his medium tank is not good. I otherwise don't have a response to this medium tank, so it's always losing on the left side no matter what I do. The right side, my medium tank could strike his medium tank along with my copter, but the rocket would just kill mine, and there's not much I can really do to continue pushing up here. So, and his medium tank will probably not even die. So the answer is no. Using the super does not win the game right now, so I don't use my super. I get this hit. If I use my super, this anti-air could go left, but I don't really care too much about that. It's just one copter hit. He traded a copter to injure my medium tank, which I think is in my favor. I kill this copter. And I just inch forward with my rocket support. You're not the only one with a rocket. Built another anti-air because I am expecting to lose this one. Well, even if I don't lose it, it's always good to have more anti-air. I now have 6 anti-air on the field against his 2 copters. So, he goes in, recon attacks, tank clears this tile, using the side slip so the medium tank has the movement to sit on the HQ. He could have attacked from the planes, but I guess he doesn't want my super to just slam his medium tank. It's much safer if he sits on my HQ. Artillery moves in to support it, and he just begins capturing a lot of properties. Sits on this property to defend it. Mega tank moves down to support this area and builds a neo tank. Shuffle some units around. Okay. Now, here's the question again. Does using my super win the game? Feel free to pause the video and think. Alright? You ready? This time, using the super would win the game, and the reason being, his artillery is exposed, which is the main fighting force over here. The medium tank, I could care less about it. I can always just spam neo tanks from my base, and it will one turn reinforce this area. The artillery, however, are very dangerous. So, let's go get them. Overdrive. I have a lot of vehicles now, and I want to break some things. Recon, go forward! We're off to a great start. Tank, go! Firepower boost. Mech, go! We cleared it! Start taking the property! Cover it with artillery. Tank, go! Just knock it out. Now my anti-air could... Oh, the forest stopped my anti-air. Well, that's sad. We can make this work still. Tank, clear out the healthy infantry. Protect the HQ at all costs. Attack this infantry. Just make sure they can't capture stuff. Attack the artillery. Wall break. Now we get rid of the artillery, which is the bane of my defenses. Knock out the anti-air. Now my copters are uncontested. Almost uncontested once more. Anti-air, wall break. Medium tank, wall break. Anti-air, go in for the rocket. Rocket is effectively eliminated. Anti-air, go in, kill this infantry. Copter, just wall the medium tank. I want to take all the properties. We're almost at the day limit. And if you don't know about Live League, there is a 30-day limit. At the end of day 30, if neither player surrendered, then the player who wins is whoever currently holds more properties, including com towers and labs. So right now I am trying to capture as many properties as possible to push myself ahead, while also defending my properties, if possible, to keep him behind. So, just start going in. Charge! Anti-air, go in! Who cares if there are tanks in the area? We have plenty of anti-air. We'll defeat the tanks through sheer willpower, because we're just... Anti-air, go in! And just kill off infantry that you can. Build another copter, because this anti-air wouldn't come into play anytime soon. Build a tank. And at this point, like I said, we're near day limit, so I don't really need to use these two bases. I base skip. Not that I can afford anything anyway. So, and note that his power was on the entire time, which means he didn't get any charge for that. So now it's his turn. Medium tank strikes my medium tank, makes sense. Artillery strikes, makes sense. He goes after what he can hit, which makes sense. A mega tank wipes out my medium tank. He then sits on his HQ to defend it. Now, the only tank I have in this area is a little 8 HP tank. But it's fine, because, well, you use a side slip near the end of the turn. I guess Neo tank does get a hit, but I don't think it's worth it, because does it win the game? No, it does not. So, at this point, we're attacking, and we're only going to keep attacking. I have 10 unit count advantage. If I just keep killing units, he will run out. So, anti-air, one-shots infantry. I am Jess, I can do that. Anti-air, one-shots infantry. I am Jess, I can do that. Artillery strikes this tank. Tank strike this tank. I take the city. It's mine now. Haha. I capture this city. Copter wipes out the rocket. And I just keep pressing forward, swarming the HQ. The anti-air's putting in a lot of work, just rushing in. No fear of these tanks. and anti-air. Well, there's no way I can one-shot this infantry. This infantry has like 50% defense on the mountains. Medium tank goes in, gets a free hit. Well, it's not really a free hit. We're in a brawl, so any hit is a hit. I continue just clearing stuff I can clear, injuring infantry I can injure. Continue to attack this artillery because I don't like him. And just injure more tanks. Well, infantry. Neo-tank. I have enough money to build a Neo-tank every single turn, so I will build a Neo-tank every single turn. I join these two infantries because... why not? And just keep charging forward. I lost one anti-air in the last turn, but I still have 3 more in this area, so this airport is very sad. He continues to fight over here, getting a lot of hits. And protecting this full HP infantry. He has another one. Now I just have to make sure I don't lose my HQ before the day limit. Tank strikes my anti-air. Medium tank strikes my anti-air, and my last tank falls, but I still have 2 anti-airs, so I'm still good in this area. Capture, 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 capture. Use my copters, block off his anti-air from interrupting. Capture. I now have a lot of properties in advantage. Copter attacks. Clears this copter, tank goes in, the last artillery is down. Now the HQ is pretty much secured to be, my HQ is secured, nothing can take it now. Neo tank goes in, medium tank goes in, infantry blocks it off, and just in case, rocket covers HQ. My HQ is secured. No artillery is left to support his HQ cap. And I got my super again, but I'm not going to use it because I don't have to. I wall in this tank. Just keep charging in through, no fear. Anti-air kills my copter. This hurts for him. Copter moves in to strike my Neo tank. He uses his sights. This mech is out of ammo. It's out. He uses his side slip and sits on a mountain to clear this. Anti-air clears my infantry. Neo tank wipes out my medium tank. But still not capturing my HQ. His anti-air clears my copter, but he cannot save these cities. He's still sitting on his HQ to defend it. Here, I use my super again. We're near day limit, so I kinda have to use it. No point in stalling at this point. Anti-air, still you're rushing in, no fear, supporting the attack. Capture, capture. Rocket fires, Neo tank fires, clears this Neo tank. Tank interrupts this capture. Neo tank strikes at this anti-air. Built another Neo tank because why not? And one more thing about this map is that there is a capture limit. And usually the capture limit is you automatically win when your income is more than double your opponent's. That's a general rule. You will have to check for each map, as each map has their own capture limit victories. In this case, 30k income means I win, so I just need to capture this property and I win. While also not losing this one, of course, which is why I interrupted it. So next turn, if he does not interrupt this capture, I just straight up win. Well, he has nothing to interrupt us now, so the game's over. Built the Resign missile. Oops. builds the Resign missile, and it's over. He could have at least just ended the turn so I can capture this for the capture victory. But yeah, that was this game. This is how, I hope for the viewer who doesn't know or doesn't typically stall, hope you learned what it means to stall in this game. Which is starting from this turn where I have my super. Does it win? No, so I hold my super. This turn, do I win now? No, so I hold the super. Do I win now? No, I hold the super. Do I win now? No, I hold the super. Do I win now? No, I hold the super. Do I win now? No, I hold the super. And do I win now? Yes, that's when you use the super. Stalling means waiting for the right moment to attack to finally win the game. And it just so happens I have plenty of anti-air to kill all the infantry. The vehicles want to strike my vehicles, and I killed off his infantry, so his infantry can't really save his properties. But also, anti-air's the MVP, just one-shots a lot of units. I have way more unit count as of this point. So, yeah. Stalling. Just don't use your super until you win. And this also applies for Eagle. You know I also play plenty of Eagle. It's the same concept. If you don't win with your Eagle super, just don't use your super and use it when you win. Now the hard part is getting to that situation where you can survive without using your super. But once you get that down, where you could just sit there and do nothing and you'll be fine, then you pretty much won the game if you're playing a stall CO. Yeah, and in this matchup, Jess scales better with more vehicles, so Jess was stallier than Adder. Whereas Adder, he's as strong as he's ever going to be. But that was this game. And don't know what I'll show next time. Bye!